Hi everyone, I'm Cara Howard, and today I'm talking about the topic of unlocking NFTs for meta impact. So first about me, I'm the founder of a nonprofit called The Key, and our focus is on unlocking potential within untapped communities. And today's talk is really about NFTs, as we're all here at an NFT-related conference, and we know this is the earliest days of NFTs. We're all really excited and talking about different forms of utilization. And my talk specifically I want to give is around impact. So impact, how are we looking at impact? This is something that is very important to me and I think is very important as an ecosystem, as again, we're in these early days. We have a lot of power and we have a lot of potential as individuals and collectives in what we're building. And so I want to take this short talk to take a step back and look at, okay, as you're building, what are the metrics of success individually and collectively that we can be looking at? And so there's a few different points here that I'm going to be making, talking about where are we at now as an ecosystem in NFTs, where are we in the near future, and again, where can we go for impact? So looking at the market, in the NFT space, for those of you that are not familiar, we're looking at around 25 billion in trading volume the last 2 years. We saw a really, exciting peak in 2021. And then a pretty dramatic drop-off last year, as now we're kind of in this rebuilding, restructuring, and looking at what are the more long-term forms of utilization of NFTs that we can have. And then looking at the demographics and psychographics, so the market right now is definitely an early adopter market still, opening up a little bit more to an early mainstream market when we see companies like Starbucks coming in as big brands and utilizing using NFTs within a more general demographic. It's also trending very much towards the male demographic, around 70%. So looking at, as we do at untapped communities, this would be something that we are looking at really strongly and recommend that you also do, specifically also not just for doing the right thing, but also for financial impact with the purchasing power that women have in their communities. And so wanting to, again, as we're talking about impact, see how we can design our products and design our campaigns to be more inclusive. So right now, as we know, NFTs are being used for things like art and collectibles, music and ticketing, and in the near future, and now, as we saw with one of the speakers here at NFT.NYC, is a 16-year-old high schooler, and he's made enough money in NFTs that he's now focusing on real estate and has dropped out of high school as a little mogul. And that's pretty exciting and impressive. And I think that's, just one of the forms that we're seeing where it's actually, we're moving now more into utilization of NFTs instead of just for entertainment purposes. So, let's see. And so now as we're talking about impact, that's what I really want to talk about today, is using NFTs for impact and how we look at impact as an organization. Impact can mean a lot of things, and a lot of times people think of that in terms of social impact and thinking of that in terms of charity. And that is one aspect, giving back. But what we're looking at is a whole sphere of impact in terms of what are the different people that are participating in this space, and how can we drive revenue in a more circular economic way. And that's why we've actually set up our organization as a nonprofit, so that we have the opportunity to cycle proceeds from our applications and our programs through to more impactful initiatives, which in my experience, and I believe for many of us, why we are in this space in Web3 and why we are excited about the opportunity is truly about decentralization and the opportunity that this gives to provide way more access to a lot of new demographics that have never had the opportunity to participate in economic systems, to participate in the digital economy. And we're seeing certain areas in even Latin America that are leapfrogging Web 2, even getting banked on any kind of traditional mobile banking and going straight into cryptocurrency. So this is what we're talking about, how fast we can scale some of these different programs and applications that we're building. At the same time, what I want us all to think about is how are we framing up our metrics for success. So we talked about decentralization. We talked a little bit about DEI. And I want to give you a little bit of use case. So we're building an application called SoulSpace. And SoulSpace we aim to have as a new media application, a new social network where all of us in Web3 have a positive space that meets our needs to be able to connect to our community, share our projects, and also drive revenue for impactful campaigns and projects. And we believe that if we cohere and come together a bit more as an ecosystem, we have the opportunity to accelerate together, which is really, again, what we're trying to do in this ecosystem. And I know many of us have been, we're building this community here, we're building this project here, and we're all just getting started and trying to figure out what we're doing. And so with us as a nonprofit, our aim is to provide more architecture for the ecosystem so you can plug your projects in and then be able to accelerate with a built-in audience. So that's a little bit about what we're building, and I want to go into now the different types of people that are a part of this ecosystem that we're building. So this is a sphere of impact that we're looking at, and this is what we've designed as a nonprofit, where we can see, again, where we can drive a little bit more of our revenue towards impactful projects, but not in a charity kind of way. So we're looking at creators. These are the people that are creating NFTs on our platform. We're looking at activists. These are thought leaders like yourselves. Then there's the platform fees, finally circular fund fees, and 50% of our revenue is going into social impact campaigns, because we, along with many of you, are realizing we can actually run a business with lower costs than ever before, because we're building we're using our marketing spend by communities, so we're spending a lot less money having to put money into Facebook ads or things like that. And we're also able to scale more quickly with lower cost for technology. So these are the different ways that we're looking at impact. And again, I'm the creator of The Key and SoulSpace, and thanks for joining me.